What if success wasn't about luck or talent, but about habits? In High Performance Habits, Brendon Burchard reveals the 6 game-changing habits that separate top achievers from the rest. These habits are backed by research, proven by experience, and can be applied right now to level up your life. Let's dive in. Habit 1. Seek clarity. Seeking clarity is foundational for high performance, as it provides a sense of direction and purpose. The author emphasizes that clarity is not an innate trait, but something that must be actively generated through self-reflection, questioning, and experimentation. High performers consistently seek clarity in 4 key areas: self-identity, social interactions, skill development, and service to others. Rather than waiting for inspiration to strike, they proactively engage in processes that refine their understanding of who they are and what they want. One of the main strategies for seeking clarity is envisioning the future for, which involves setting clear intentions regarding who you want to be, how you wish to interact with others, what skills you need to develop, and how you can serve others with excellence. This structured approach ensures that high performers do not simply react to life, but actively shape it. Another crucial aspect is determining the feeling you're after. Emotions are not accidental. They can be intentionally cultivated. High performers frequently ask themselves what emotions they want to bring into a situation and what they want to experience. This self-awareness allows them to navigate life with greater intentionality and emotional control. Additionally, clarity comes from defining what is meaningful. Achievement alone does not bring fulfillment. Alignment with personally meaningful pursuits does. High performers consistently assess whether their goals and projects align with their core values, ensuring that they invest their time in activities that bring enthusiasm, connection, and satisfaction. This ability to distinguish between busy work and meaningful work helps them stay engaged and fulfilled over the long term. The chapter also discusses how a lack of clarity can lead to stress, indecision, and unfulfilled potential. Without clear self-awareness, people often struggle with self-doubt, making it difficult to achieve sustained success. Research shows that individuals with a strong sense of clarity tend to have higher self-esteem, greater confidence, and overall higher life satisfaction. To develop this habit, the author recommends regularly asking critical questions, journaling, and refining one's vision over time. By consistently practicing these exercises, individuals can create a strong foundation for high performance, ensuring that their actions and ambitions are aligned with their values and long-term aspirations. Habit 2. Generate energy. High performance is impossible without sustained energy, both mental and physical. The author asserts that energy is not something people either have or lack. It is something that can be generated through intentional habits. High performers cultivate energy by managing their transitions, adopting positive mindsets, and optimizing their health. They do not passively wait for motivation or energy. Instead, they create it through deliberate actions. One of the core practices for generating energy is releasing tension and setting intention. People experience countless transitions throughout the day, moving from one task to another, shifting between work and personal life, or transitioning between different emotional states. High performers use these transitions as opportunities to reset. Instead of carrying stress from one activity to the next, they take brief moments to breathe, release tension, and set a clear intention for what they want to bring to the next task. This small but powerful habit ensures that they approach each activity with renewed focus and purpose, rather than being drained by accumulated stress. Another key practice is bringing joy. High performers take responsibility for the energy they bring into situations. They consciously cultivate positive emotions by anticipating good outcomes, setting mental triggers to remind themselves to stay optimistic, and appreciating the small joys of life. This does not mean ignoring challenges or suppressing negative emotions, but rather choosing to focus on what is uplifting and energizing. Research has shown that individuals who generate joy consistently perform at higher levels and maintain stronger relationships. The third crucial element of energy generation is optimizing health. Mental sharpness, emotional resilience, and physical stamina all rely on proper sleep, exercise, and nutrition. High performers recognize that cognitive function and emotional well-being are directly linked to their physical health. They work with professionals when necessary, but most importantly, they consistently apply basic health principles that many people neglect. They ensure they get enough sleep, engage in regular physical activity, and fuel their bodies with nutritious food. By prioritizing these habits, they equip themselves with the energy necessary to sustain high performance over long periods. This chapter makes it clear that energy is a prerequisite for achieving extraordinary results. Without it, even the most talented individuals struggle with focus, creativity, and resilience. By mastering transitions, fostering joy, and maintaining optimal health, high performers sustain the drive needed to excel in their personal and professional lives. The overarching message is that energy is not just about physical vitality. It is about cultivating a state of mind and body that supports excellence. Habit 3. Raise necessity. Brendon Burchard explains that high performers operate with a strong sense of necessity that drives them to succeed. This necessity isn't just a casual desire to do well. It is an internal and external force that makes peak performance non-negotiable. High performers don't just want success, they feel they must succeed. This habit involves cultivating an identity that demands excellence, affirming one's why, and surrounding oneself with individuals who elevate standards. The first key to raising necessity is knowing who needs your A game. High performers don't just push themselves for personal satisfaction, they feel a responsibility toward others. Whether it's their family, team, or audience, they have a deep sense of obligation to show up as their best selves. Burchard suggests asking the question, who needs me to be my best right now? This external pressure creates a powerful drive to excel. Another way to strengthen necessity is to affirm the why. When people verbalize their goals and their reasons for pursuing them, their commitment strengthens. Saying one's purpose out loud, writing it down, or sharing it with others builds emotional and psychological investment in success. This aligns with research on motivation, which shows that when people feel their work has meaning, they perform better. The best way to leverage this is through a habit of daily reminders, whether through journaling, affirmations, or speaking to a mentor. Burchard also highlights the importance of leveling up one's squad. The people we surround ourselves with significantly impact our level of performance. High performers actively seek out relationships with individuals who inspire, challenge, and elevate them. By associating with ambitious, disciplined, and successful people, they naturally absorb the habits and mindset needed for high achievement. Social circles influence standards, and those who aim for excellence must be deliberate in curating their environment. Necessity is not just about external expectations. It also involves personal identity. High performers define themselves in ways that align with success. They see themselves as leaders, achievers, or innovators, and they act accordingly. This identity creates an internal pressure to maintain congruence between self-perception and actions. Burchard argues that those who make excellence part of their core identity are more likely to persist through challenges. The final component of necessity is urgency. Without a sense of immediacy, many people delay or operate at a lower level of intensity. High performers understand the importance of deadlines and time constraints, using them as fuel rather than stressors. They set high standards, hold themselves accountable, and continually reinforce the urgency of their mission. In summary, raising necessity is about developing a mindset where success is not just a preference but a requirement. By understanding who relies on them, affirming their purpose, surrounding themselves with high achievers, reinforcing their identity, and cultivating urgency, high performers ensure that they show up at their best consistently. Habit 4. Increase productivity. Burchard emphasizes that high performers are not just busy, they are strategically productive. They focus on the outputs that matter most, eliminate distractions, and continually refine their skills. Productivity is not about working more hours, but about being more effective in those hours. The first step to increasing productivity is to identify and focus on high-value outputs. High performers determine the few key tasks that make the biggest difference in their success and concentrate their energy on those areas. They are not distracted by low-impact work or unnecessary obligations. Burchard calls this the principle of prolific quality output, PQO, the ability to consistently produce work that is both high in volume and quality. Whether it's writing, coding, or managing, high performers are prolific in the areas that define their expertise and influence. Next, Burchard introduces the concept of charting one's 5 major moves. Instead of getting lost in a sea of tasks, high performers clarify the 5 key moves that will lead to success in any given project. Each of these moves is broken down into specific activities with deadlines. This method prevents overwhelm and ensures that efforts are directed toward meaningful progress rather than scattered across multiple initiatives. Another critical factor in productivity is progressive mastery, which involves becoming exceptionally good at key skills. Burchard argues that high performers constantly refine their expertise in specific areas that have long-term benefits. They do this through structured learning, deliberate practice, and consistent feedback. The goal is to develop skills that set them apart and make their work more effective and valuable over time. Distraction management is another key to productivity. High performers recognize that focus is their most valuable asset. They limit interruptions, avoid unnecessary meetings, and schedule time blocks for deep work. Studies show that switching between tasks reduces efficiency and increases stress, so high achievers guard their attention carefully. They also manage their energy through breaks, exercise, and proper nutrition, ensuring that they remain sharp and engaged throughout the day. Finally, Burchard addresses work-life balance and sustainability. Contrary to popular belief, high performers are not workaholics. They are strategic with their time and energy. They prioritize well-being, maintain strong personal relationships, and take time for hobbies and relaxation. Their ability to sustain high performance comes from their ability to recharge and renew themselves rather than burning out through overwork. In essence, increasing productivity is not about doing more, but about doing what matters most with focus and excellence. By identifying key outputs, planning major moves, mastering essential skills, eliminating distractions, and maintaining balance, high performers maximize their impact while sustaining long-term success. Habit 5, develop influence. Influence is a critical skill for high performers, allowing them to shape the beliefs and behaviors of others in meaningful ways. Brendon Burchard emphasizes that influence is not a trait reserved for extroverts or those in leadership positions. It is a learned and cultivated ability. The chapter begins with a real-world example of a struggling CEO, Juan, whose business is failing due to conflicts with his new chief designer. Instead of focusing on collaboration, Juan sees her as an obstacle and wants to minimize her influence. This scenario highlights the importance of understanding how influence works and how it can either unite or divide a team. Burchard outlines 3 key strategies for developing influence: teaching people how to think, challenging them to grow, and role modeling the way. Teaching people how to think involves shaping their perspectives by guiding their thought processes. Influential people often frame conversations in a way that inspires curiosity and engagement. Instead of giving orders, they prompt discussions using phrases like "think of it this way" or "what would happen if we tried." This approach fosters independent thinking and problem-solving among those they lead. Challenging people to grow is another essential aspect of influence. High performers encourage others to step outside their comfort zones, pursue excellence, and aim for higher standards. They do this by asking thought-provoking questions about personal and professional development. Instead of merely providing answers, they create an environment that promotes self-reflection and ambition. This method not only benefits the individual, but also strengthens the overall team or organization. The final pillar of influence is role modeling. According to Burchard, 71% of high performers consciously think about being a role model on a daily basis. They understand that their actions, behaviors, and decision-making processes set the tone for those around them. By consistently demonstrating integrity, excellence, and dedication, they inspire others to do the same. Influence, in this sense, is not about manipulation, but about creating a culture where people want to follow and emulate their leader. One of the biggest misconceptions about influence is that it requires charisma or authority. Burchard dispels this myth by presenting research that shows influence is more closely tied to one's ability to make requests, communicate effectively, and remain consistent in their values and actions. Many people fail to exert influence simply because they do not ask for what they want or underestimate how willing others are to follow their lead. Ultimately, influence is about fostering trust, credibility, and alignment with those around you. It is a skill that can be practiced and refined over time, and those who master it will find themselves better equipped to lead, persuade, and inspire others. Habit 6. Demonstrate courage. Courage is often misunderstood as the absence of fear, but Burchard argues that true courage is about taking action despite fear. In this chapter, he highlights how high performers consistently demonstrate courage in various aspects of their lives, from speaking their truth to making bold career moves. He introduces the concept by discussing the story of Sandra, a celebrity client who posts a vulnerable video online, only to receive harsh criticism. Initially, the video seems like a mistake, but it ultimately becomes a turning point in her life, forcing her to confront deeper fears and take control of her situation. Courage, according to Burchard, is not an inborn trait, but a habit that can be cultivated. He categorizes courage into 3 main types: physical, moral, and psychological. Physical courage is the willingness to take risks in dangerous or challenging situations, such as an athlete pushing beyond their limits or a soldier going into battle. Moral courage involves standing up for what is right, even in the face of opposition, such as whistleblowers exposing corruption or activists fighting for justice. Psychological courage is about confronting personal fears, breaking through self-imposed limitations, and expressing one's true self, despite the risk of judgment. One of the key findings from Burchard's research is that courage is highly correlated with high performance. People who regularly demonstrate courage tend to have higher levels of clarity, energy, productivity, and influence. This is because courage allows them to take decisive action, overcome obstacles, and persist through adversity. High performers do not avoid fear, they acknowledge it and move forward regardless. Burchard outlines 3 core practices for developing courage: honoring the struggle, sharing one's truth and ambitions, and finding someone to fight for. Honoring the struggle means recognizing that difficulties are an inherent part of growth and success. Instead of complaining or avoiding challenges, high performers embrace them as opportunities to become stronger and more resilient. This mindset shift transforms struggle from something to be feared into something to be respected and valued. Sharing one's truth and ambitions is another act of courage. Many people hold back their dreams and aspirations due to fear of criticism or failure. High performers, however, openly express their goals and take steps to achieve them, even when faced with uncertainty. This willingness to be vulnerable and transparent builds trust and attracts the support of like-minded individuals. The final practice is finding someone to fight for. Burchard explains that people are often more courageous when they feel a sense of responsibility toward others. Whether it is a loved one, a team, or a cause, having a meaningful reason to act can provide the motivation needed to push through fear. Many of history's greatest leaders and changemakers were driven not by personal gain, but by a commitment to something greater than themselves. Courage is not about grand gestures or reckless risks. It is about consistently choosing to step outside one's comfort zone, speak up when it matters, and take action in alignment with one's values. By cultivating this habit, individuals can break free from self-doubt, achieve their goals, and inspire others to do the same. Now that you know the 6 habits, which one will you start applying today? Drop a comment below. And if you want more powerful insights like this, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new video. Success is built on habits. Start building yours. See you in the next one.